As summer comes to a close, we have the market dynamics for August of 2021. Let's talk about those and more in this week's segment of Market Watch. Hi everyone, Joshua Barks here, associate broker with Keller Williams Realty Boise and the Barks & Co. Real Estate team. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's segment of Market Watch, where we talk about the Boise area housing market on a week-over-week basis. And this week, we're going into our deep dive into the market dynamics for August of 2021. So for both Ada and Canyon County. That means this video is going to be a little bit longer, so I will include the timestamps in the timeline. So you can drag right to the section that you're most interested in if you don't want to stick around for the whole thing. First off, some bullet points. Let's talk about appreciation. Wow. Both Ada and Canyon County have appreciated more than 20% so far this year in the average sales price. Also important to note, inventory is finally starting to come up significantly in both Ada and Canyon County. So that's great news for buyers and for sellers that are looking for another place to move in and stay in the area. And then the third thing is interest rates are still at incredible historic lows. In fact, they're remaining pretty flat over the last several weeks, just at under 3%, which is incredible. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive into the August market dynamics, starting with Ada County. Okay, let's talk about the August 2021 market dynamics for both Ada County and Canyon County on the existing home sales side. First off, as always, let's start with Ada County in the Boise area, talking about the existing home sales. And boy, do we have an update for you. As always, we're going to start with this market trends chart, looking at really an average of supply and demand and what's happening over a 13-month rolling. So you can see the seasonal shifts that we typically see in the market and what's going on right now. So the red line is the number of active listings that we have, gray bars being the number of pending sales that we have, and the black bars being the number of closed sales. And as you can see, our inventory is up significantly from what we saw last month, and we've been gaining just about 200 new listings a month over the last couple months over the summertime, which is fantastic. We actually desperately still need more homes to come on the market. Yes, 850 listings is significantly more than what we saw this time last year with 320 active listings on the market. And we're also, for the first time, the first month, we have 850 active listings and also less pending than we have active. So that is a good sign as well of things not being as crazy as they were. Then when we're looking at, even with inventory coming up, when we're looking at what happened in 2019 this time, we actually still had more listings in 2019 this time of year than what we have right now. So I would still say we're not quite where we were for what our normal was for the last several years, of course, apart from last year. But we still need more inventory to come on the market, but it's fantastic that it's coming up. Next, when we dive right into demand, we have 770 homes that are pending, and compared to last year, 977. So we are down overall in the number of pendings, but we've been feeling that over the last several months or couple months with summertime, with vacations and things like that, and just kind of an overall cooling of our hot market. Instead of 105 degrees, it's more like 90 degrees. Very comparable to the heat wave that we'd experienced where it's still a hot market, but it doesn't feel like it because we're so used to 105 for so long. Then when we're looking at the number of sales, we have 749 compared to last year's 932. Yes, that's down year over year as well, and also less than what we saw in 2019. So it's interesting to see as inventory comes up that the number of pending home sales is going down a little bit. Again, not significant month over month. In fact, 792 to 770 isn't much of a difference there. Same with the 822 to 749. So when we're going into prices, though, appreciation is up significantly. In fact, we have a new record average sales price for Ada County, $532,000 and change. up 24.6% since the beginning of the year. And the crazy part with that is this same time last year, our average sales price was $391,000 and change. So up quite a bit for just 1 year for us. And we can't continue that appreciation at this pace for very long. In fact, with everything that we're seeing in the marketplace, I anticipate our appreciation rate to stop going 5% a month, which is unsustainable. Anyone that's looking at these numbers would agree that it's not sustainable to continue to appreciate at that pace. Now, I don't think prices are going to be coming down anytime soon, and here's a great indication of that. When we're looking at the breakdown through all the price points, yes, inventory's coming up. Average absorption rate is 1.3 months supply. Which is still an incredibly hot seller's market. Yes, it's more than half a month, which we experienced. But again, it was 105 degrees. Now it's 90 degrees. Anything less than 4 months supply is considered to be a seller's market. Anything between 4 and 6 months supply is considered to be a balanced market. And anything 6 months and beyond is considered to be a buyer's market. And you can see we actually have less than 4 months supply all the way up to 1.5 million in Ada County. And we do have 2 months supply now for those over 500,000, whereas last month we had less than 2 months for 500,000 and up because the 2 month supply didn't start until the 600s. And we finally have more than a month's supply for those between 400 and 500. So that's good news, especially for buyers out there, because we are starting to see more inventory come up, so you have more choices and hopefully less competition. We are seeing fewer offers per listing, so it's super incredibly important to be priced right and marketed effectively in this market. Now, the average days on market is 9 days, which is still an incredibly hot market. Yes, number of overall pendings are down slightly year over year and month over month, but our days on market also has declined. We were at 10 days, now we're at 9, still under 2 weeks. When we actually look at what our days on market were last year, they were significantly higher. We actually averaged 24 days on market last year when we had less inventory and way more pendings and sales. So what we have going on with that is, it's still a very competitive market out there. And when we have 532,000 for the average sales price, well, the average pending in MLS right now is 610,000 and the average asking price is 682. So the gap between these is becoming smaller, which again supports my theory in price is going to start to plateau. Now, I don't think prices are coming down anytime soon. And when I say prices are cooling off, what I mean is we are not appreciating 5% a month and what have you. Prices are going to stabilize a little bit with that. That's what I anticipate is going to be happening overall for Ada County and Canyon County as well. But we're talking about Ada County right now. So next, let's talk about the top 3 areas of growth for Ada County as far as appreciation goes. Garden City coming in number 1, 33% up since January 1 this year. The average sales price in Garden City is now just over $512,000. Number 2, we have Northwest Meridian, also up 30%, over 30% slightly for Northwest Meridian, with the average sales price in Northwest Meridian of $508,000 and change. And then in third, we have Northwest Boise coming in at almost $560 for the average sales price. Honorable mention to number 4, not on this list, is Northeast Boise. So the East End and Harris Ranch, Warm Springs Mesa, etc. Also up 28 some odd percent, and the average sales price in that area is actually 700 and something, 712 or something like that. Again, it didn't make the list, so I don't have it in front of me. I apologize. Then we're going to talk about Canyon County. So overall, what's going on in Canyon County? Again, we're going to start with the market trends chart, which gives us a 13-month rolling of supply and demand, very simply put. So the red line being the number of active listings, the gray bar being the number of pending listings, and the black bars being the number of closed sales in that given month. So we can see this year compared to last year, and I'll do you one better. 389 active listings in Canyon County is incredible. It's more than we've seen all year long and up significantly from what we had last year. Similar to Ada County, though, it is down slightly from what we saw in 2019, which is, in fact, let's see, I don't have that number in front of me. It was 300 also actually very, very similar. I apologize. I was incorrect there. 385 listings active in Canyon County in 2019. So finally getting back to normal territory for Canyon County. And then when we're talking about the number of pending sales, we are down slightly year over year. And then in 2019, we are about the same again. So 396 pending sales here compared to 434, and then 323 sold in August compared to 378. Now, part of the reason I think that these sales are going to be higher last year for what we saw this year is because our spring market that we normally experience got pushed into the summer last year. So we had a crazy summertime, and so I think a lot of these numbers are kind of the wean off of that, whereas this year we had our normal sort of crazy springtime, and then our summer lull that we experience. So it'll be interesting to see what happens as we kick off fall now that Labor Day weekend is over, because inventory appears to still be on the rise, which we desperately need. And so with that, because inventory has been so low for so long, we have still seen an incredible appreciation in prices. In fact, the new average sales price for Canyon County is $368,000, and a little bit more. Then we have 23.3% so far this year is what we've appreciated in Canyon County. The average sales price in 2020 for this time of year, so before the end of the year, so August 2020, our average sales price in Canyon County was $275,000. Which is up significantly year over year. We rounded out the year, of course, just below 300, and now we're almost to 375. Incredible. Again, like I said, with Ada County, I don't see Canyon County continuing to appreciate at this rapid pace. It's unsustainable. Prices are likely going to start cooling off. They're not going to come down necessarily anytime soon. That's not what I'm seeing. Because it's still going to remain a very competitive, technically seller's market. It just doesn't feel like that because it's been so crazy. Again, I liken it to the heat wave that we had. We had so many 105-degree days that once it got into the 90s, everyone was like, oh my gosh, this feels so good now. And really, it's still hot outside. It's just now 90 instead of 105. And when we're looking at the inventory, the absorption rate, again, anything less than 4 months is considered to be a seller's market. Anything between 4 and 6 months is considered to be balanced. And then anything beyond 6 months is considered to be a buyer's market. So in Canyon County, very similar to what we experienced last month, we have a buyer's market in anything above $1 million. And then we have more of a balanced market down to $600,000, and then below $600,000 is considered to be a seller's market, though we still have less than a month's supply on anything under $350,000. So as I've been saying all year, it's going to continue to be really tough for those first timers and people that are entering into those price points, maybe even downsizing and what have you, to get smaller places, because those homes are going to remain very, very competitive for the foreseeable future, unless we see a significant number of listings come on the market. Now, days on market for Canyon County is also 9 days. That is down from last year's 22 days on market. And what we have here is with the average asking price in MLS for Canyon County being $503, the average pending being $436, and of course the average sold being just under $370. We're likely going to continue to see prices in Canyon County have a nice upward push. But again, I don't think they're going to be as crazy as they have been for the remainder of the year. and we're likely going to start seeing more of a plateauing effect in Canyon County. Then let's talk about the top 3 areas of growth. So Melba coming in at number 1, up almost 90%, which is insane. But part of the reason for that is there's just not a lot of activity in some of these areas, so there aren't very many sales. So when there are sales, they are significant. So almost 90% with a new average sales price in Melba of $489,000 just about. Greenleaf coming in at number 2 with just under 45% appreciation year to date, and the average sales price in Greenleaf being just over $390,000, and then Wilder coming in 3rd with almost 40% appreciation so far this year with an average sales price of $336,000. That is, again, incredible. We're still seeing a lot of growth in Canyon County. As Ada County becomes more expensive, people are moving further and further west because that's where they're able to find more affordable homes, or maybe even bigger homes for less money. Your dollar goes a lot further the further away from Boise proper you get. So next, let's talk about the mortgage market and what's happening there. Interest rates have remained flat for several weeks now, actually. And it's incredible that interest rates are finally staying below 3%, which is a weird thing to say. 2.88 for the 30-year fixed, according to Freddie Mac's research. And the economy has lost a lot of momentum over the last couple months because of the Delta variant. And this is leading to just weaker consumer spending and consumer confidence overall, which has caused interest rates to drop below the 3% this summer and stay below 3%. So even with inflation, because of that and what we're seeing with, supply and demand in housing, this interest rate is really what's helping our affordability factor right now. And as long as these stay low, that's part of the reason why prices aren't likely to come down anytime soon, because they're still quote unquote affordable. Now, when you're talking about like your specific situation, like, is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? And really, as Warren Buffett says, those who try to time the market are acting a fool. I can't remember the exact quote, so maybe I shouldn't have brought it up, but the best time to buy or sell is when you have a good enough reason to move and you can afford it, because markets always go up and down, and it really just depends on your unique situation, what you need, and where you're at financially. So if you're considering a move and you have what you think is a good enough reason and you think you can afford it, even if you don't and you're just exploring options, I want to know. I want to be here for you to help come to some kind of answers, to give you that information that you need in order to make an informed decision for you and your family. It's not about me. I'm just here to be a resource for you so that you can make a decision for you. Again, I'm not the one moving. I'm just here to help facilitate that if that's what you want and need. So I'm here anytime. Feel free to reach out. My number is 208-914-1095. Of course, you can always email me as well. And you can visit our website. In fact, we have a booking software where you don't even have to call if you don't want to. And you can book a meeting with me directly on my website. You just go to my website, go onto our services page, and then you select what you're looking for. I'm thinking about buying, I'm thinking about selling, and a couple clicks away, you got an appointment with me booked on the calendar. Okay, so that's wrap on what we're seeing in the real estate market for August of 2020, and really kind of our predictions into the fall. We are poised for a strong fall market. At least that's what all signs are indicating here, though it won't be nearly as crazy as what we saw in the spring or anywhere close to what we saw last year. At least that's not what the numbers are saying. So luckily, it's still considered a strong seller's market. If you're a seller looking to capitalize, now still might be a great time because it's just gotten a little bit easier for buyers. It's still a competitive market, so that's something to take into consideration on the buyer side. And it's so important to have an agent by your side that understands how to navigate all of the ins and outs of this market that we're in, because it is so complex. And when it really comes down to your unique situation and what you're doing as far as buying or selling, as well as being able to compete when you're a buyer against multiple offers, and then on the listing side, if you're a seller, having a listing agent that knows how to price your price your house correctly for our market is crucial right now, because buyers are starting to get more options to choose from. So value is becoming more and more important on price. So pricing and marketing correctly, huge things. I know I hound that into you every week. So without making this extremely long, that's pretty much a wrap. We have vast appreciation in both Ada and Canyon County. It looks like that's likely going to start slowing down here soon as inventory comes up and demand starts to taper off, or at least balance out there a bit. And again, we're poised for a strong fall market. What remains to be seen for the holidays, if we're in for another strong winter market, or if things will maybe get back to normal, where we slow down a little bit more in the wintertime and then start picking back up in the spring. Okay, well, thank you for tuning in. I so appreciate all of you guys watching this. Be sure to like and subscribe, and that helps me know that you find this information valuable. And I always love when you send me emails, or even if you comment on the video to let me know that you appreciate it. I find that very valuable myself. It makes me feel good that you're finding that this information is resourceful. If you're interested in specific market data for any specific area, so like North End, East End, maybe different part of Nampa, part of Caldwell, and what have you, I have all of that data. So just let me know. I'm happy to send it to you personally, so you can have exactly what you're looking for. All right, well, that's a wrap today, and we will see you next weekend talking about the beginnings of our fall market.